as several teams beginning their quest, if that made any sense, for a championship at Team CL2025. Event 13 may start crushing some of those dreams for good of that happening, because it's the elimination race, and lo and behold, if those dreams get crushed by that spinner. Anyway, the format for this event is basically every team will go down at once, and the first one to finish will skip the next race. Basically, if you win race 1, you go straight to race 3, but if you get last in round 1, you get eliminated. Round 2, last place in round 2 will just get 15th, round 3, 14th, round 4, 13th, round 5, 12th, and so on, and so on, and so on. As here you see the current standings. Krakow currently lead by 22 points over Dinner Plane, and then Paris, and both Chesapeake and Akron, with their terrible finishes in the last event, have fallen out of that podium range. Here we go. Demo run time. Went up its nose for exactly 3 rounds. It's only 1. House bricks. I was going to say won with both marbles, but then the white elements got that marble to overtake that other house brick. But they still mostly won that demo run pretty much. And now for the actual event itself. Who will find themselves eliminated in the first round of this event? Definitely not going to be Chesapeake. They get the immunity. Back, that is either New York or Kuala Lumpur. However, in reality, none of that matters. In Paris, the second half so far for them has been fulfilled with silvers and dead lasts, and for the third time in the last 5 events, it is a last place finish for them. And honestly, out of all events we're going to get last place in, this is probably the least predictable. Funnel Endurance, I suppose, Endurance, but that was predictable considering Paris France got 15th in the individual city league, but still, dead last in Paris France won this event. And the other endurance event that wasn't Funnel Endurance in the individual city league and Metro themselves won this in the friendly round. That's crazy to think about. As Paris go down in dead last year. Round 2. Berlin in the back. See it being blasted backwards, but they are still towards the back of the order, and one of Kuala Lumpur and New York are getting the immunity, the other is getting eliminated here. As we see the replay here, we'll find out in a second who that truly was that won and got eliminated between Kuala Lumpur and New York. Who was it? Let's see, whoever is at the back here getting held up, and then that other trap marble getting launched back by that ball bearing. And let's see here, which team crossed last? It was New York, meaning Kuala Lumpur won that round. Round 3. Dinner Planer in the back. Not going to be good for the second place team of the championship. Akron get the win. At the back, oh! I was going to say that was Quincy and the... How did that happen? Hold up. Well, they passed Montreal to Quincy, but is that Krakow or Tibet? If that's Krakow, it's huge. But it's not, and Tibet, just like in Individual City League, take 14th in this event. It was not their captain, El Haas, at this time. It was Jaggy Lin, but still it made no difference. And for a team like Tibet, 14th in the standings, they're only going to get 14th in this event. 2 points out of it. Needless to say, if Krakow get really far here, they are in grave danger of being eliminated as they just jump onto that ball-bearing rail there and maybe convinced that Krakow might have been going out in this round. But they passed a ton of teams at the end here, and then Quincy passed Montreal at the last second. Next up, we will be the last team to finish in the bottom 4 for this event. We know that's not going to be Kuala Lumpur who get the win. And it's going to be Chesapeake, though. And another bottom 4 finish comes their way. That's the 4th one in a row. 6 events in a row inside the top 10. That is downright embarrassing to Delaware, who won a very similar event in the obstacle course earlier on. Ever since then, everything has spiraled downhill for Chesapeake, and it's only going to get worse with a 13th place finish here. Yeah, 13th, that's only going to get them 3 points, and for a marble who literally won the first round of this event, Chesapeake, they've already slid out of the podium overall, and needless to say, in terms of best coach, if they aren't in there currently, I think it's going to slide them out of there, too. As you see, they just get passed by everyone here, and last place. Here we go, next up, round 5. Not only for Montreal, but they passed St. Albans, though. At the beginning, at the front of the field, that is either Phoenix or William. I'm sorry for all the screen shaking here. And Norwich have just been eliminated, and they will take 12th. And needless to say, everything championship contention-wise I just said about Tibet, that I have just said about Tibet, rather, can really apply to Norwich too, but they're probably going to stay behind Tibet. They're 4 points behind. They're only going to gain 2. Yes, that is certain. Who got the win here? It was Phoenix over Berlin. They're going to get the immunity to skip round 6. And yeah, you can see Norwich getting passed right here, just by everyone. And that was the end of this event, and possibly their hopes to win the championship altogether. How many times did we finish so far? Omeo takes a great shot to the win in this race. And Montreal find themselves, yes, this time in oblivion, and they will take 11th. And Montreal, just like round 3, I'm not going to lie, they were in a great position going into that final part, and they just took that left side and just got passed by everyone going into it. It wasn't the entire field this time, besides the marble to save them from elimination, but it was most. You can see here a ton of marbles just get right on by. They went way too high up on that, and St. Albans came in with a finishing touch to just knock Mont Royal right out of this event. Alright, now round 7. At the top 10 now for this event. And that is Krakow getting the win. And at the back, that is Quincy. So Quincy will take 10th place here. And after a somewhat fire streak, they're starting to lose that streak. As you can see here, they were in a great position as well, I'm not going to lie. And then I don't know what happened in this last part. Maybe it was that shove from Kuala Lumpur or something. I don't know. And yeah, right there. Actually, they were behind going into that. Never mind. Krakow getting the win there. And only one more round before we get to the top half. There, I see some teams, if they haven't already been pushed off, as that cliff is worse like a win on this one, of being eliminated for championship contention. As Hong Kong will go down here. The help of a shove from Dinner Plane. They're getting really close too. Especially Tibet and Norwich already gone in the first 5 rounds. Those 2 teams in particular, they're getting really close to being eliminated for championship contention here. Right, let's see where this round went. Hong Kong looked to start off in the back. Maybe trying to overtake Dinner Plane. St. Albans, they did that, or was that accurate? I can't really tell, but you see Hong Kong, they snuck their way past Dinner Plane and then realized, hey, there's a captain spinner, and here comes Dinner Plane. Omeo pushing Kowloon aside, one captain eliminates the other. And now we're in the top half. That is all that's left in this event. And Krakow, we're towards the back. They get pushed by Dinner Plane. Kuala Lumpur get the win, and the screen shakes a lot, but Berlin, just like in the previous event, they will take 8th place. And if I'm not mistaken, and we can see a little something about it here, they pushed Krakow to the end, like right here. They pushed them behind. And then all of a sudden, here comes Krakow getting ahead, and they're like the last thing they have left here is Phoenix just get around, and Lodz is just pushed to the end by Charlottenburg. And Charlottenburg goes into oblivion here in round 9, and will take 8th place for Berlin in this event. Round 10. Something good for Warsaw, they just get stuck right there. And St. Albans will get the win on this race. And Phoenix and Akron just get held up right there. And how have Warsaw even done that? I don't know. But what I do know is that they are for sure eliminated in 7th here. So you can see they just got passed by St. Albans, and this just let St. Albans climb the order. And then Warsaw, I don't even know what happened to Oliver's, but something sure did. And it just killed their run and event entirely. And that spinner is brutal, beating up marbles, but it led Franklin quite to victory. Alright, round 11. So far, Phoenix and Kuala Lumpur fighting in the back. Kuala Lumpur get blasted backwards. Krakow actually crossed first, so they get the win, and Kuala Lumpur actually fell behind quite far there. And they'll take 6th once more. Honestly, how many times have Kuala Lumpur, since Event 4, how many times were they so close to a medal and just ended up missing? The amount of times that it's happened after the end of that first quarter. As you can see, they just get blasted backwards there, and that just let Phoenix break away. And, in other words, basically just eliminated Kuala Lumpur, and their captain Tessa will go down here in 6th place. Winner of this will be guaranteed to podium, and Phoenix! I don't even know how they've done that, but yeah, they just got held up by some random point. A Dinner Plane, unlike the last event, will get the podium. St. Albans and Akron battled before it there. St. Albans won, but that was not to determine who was not going to survive that round, because both teams were, of course, Phoenix. They were the ones who weren't going to. Hey, what was it for Phoenix? I guess they just moved a little bit up and, yeah. I don't even know what happened there, but, yeah, whatever did happen there truly did for Phoenix. You see your Dinner Plane just get away. And yeah, Phoenix is still the only team now that has not gotten a medal after New York got one in the last event. St. Albans shoving aside Accra into that. That was brutal. Yeah, Krakow, battle with St. Albans here, finding themselves in lots of battles. Can they win another? St. Albans win another battle between both the teams, and it looks like Accra, perfect position, and they overtake Krakow for good measure there. And if I had the time to do this, I'd probably make about 1 million jokes for odds here, or puns is a better word for that. You see here, Accra getting by. They were not happy about that, so they just went to the same end. Just managed to get by and beat up at the spinner at the same time. And then right here, they just go right here, and Accra knew what to take advantage of and did it perfectly. Yeah, dinner play and Accra. Both these two teams could probably knock it above Krakow. And dinner play get held up and they'll take another bronze. Accra, though, as soon as they're finished, if they do, which they do, will face St. Albans for gold. And honestly, what need is there for a replay with that one? Just show the results graphic on screen already. There you go. Now, it's all up to these two white teams here. St. Albans do a very similar move as to what they did in Accra in that 12th round. Are they getting away with it? No! Accra do get their revenge, and St. Albans just get lucky to finish, supposedly. And Accra win another gold for them. And that's a great bounce back after last place in the last event. St. Albans win their third medal in the last 4 events, and that'll just sting that it's not gold. 4 times they've been on the podium for both these teams. Twice it's been gold for Accra, and it's never been in this league so far for St. Albans. They have 3 events left to try to win a gold, but they are in phenomenal form as of this moment. And before we get to the podium ceremony for this event, we have to see a replay of this, even if it goes a little off screen right here. There's Franklin pushing Dodoa aside, and then Dodoa hits them right there, craving violence already, and then uses the same technique as they did against Lodz in round 13 to Franklin right here, or against Franklin right there, I suppose, and they just win the event right off of that. And so there you see what the podium of this event shaped out to be, and let's see what the standings shape up to be with just 3 events left. And I don't want to accuse the spinner of playing a role in this, but Norbert are officially the first team who can no longer win this Team City League. And Krakow lead now by 19 points, come down from 22 to 19, down by 3 over Dinner Plane. Accra just 1 point behind Dinner Plane after that gold, and those 3 are pulling well clear of the rest of the package. Chesapeake and Paris, with their terrible finishes here, have fallen to 4th. Well, actually, Chesapeake, that would be staying 4th, and Paris have fallen to 5th. And that's pretty close. Mid-pack, and yeah. Next event will be the 3rd last one, anti-penultimate one, the triathlon. So I will see you then.